So Russ, the year is finally over, and we've been talking about Blue news all year long and all these different releases, and ones that we thought looked good, ones we thought looked like crap, ones that we personally picked up, ones that showed up damaged, ones we were disappointed by, ones that were given to us for free. Thought we could share our top five, my top five with you, if you'd like to share your top five with me.
I would love to. So what is your choice for number 5 physical media release of 2021?
Well, I'm just speaking on my own personal taste. These are my top 5, and I've kind of exclusively narrowed it down to sort of these collector's releases. I don't have any vanilla releases or standard edition, any things that I picked up. These are all collector's editions of some kind. That's how I kind of crafted my 5. So first up for me, number 5 this year was True Romance.
Thank you. Thanks.
This is a great release. I know this is one of the very first controversial releases that you and I picked and discussed, Russ. I know this is one that almost broke our channel and broke our friendship.
Yeah, it sold out in like nanoseconds.
It did, and that's one of the reasons why I put it on this top 5 was, you know, Arrow puts out releases like this all year long. There's Dune ones, The Legend, we've talked about a lot. They all come with the booklet, the poster. They're, you know, they kind of have the same standard stuff, and I think it's a great release, but also it has a little place in my heart for the drama that it caused. So I want to give a big shout out to True Romance in my number 5. So Russ, what's your number 5?
Well, my number 5 pick is Carlito's Way, Rise to Power, the Zavi 4-disc limited edition.
Time to stop all your bullshit.
I also missed out on that one. I really tried hard to get
this
it.
Sold out in nanoseconds.
I tried to get it so quickly. We tried to cover that quickly, and
it was sold out.
Yeah, we got a cease and desist, a gag order. Russ went into hiding for a while.
I'm mad it was a joke. My real number 5 is the Zavi Carlito's Way, my movie.
Why is it your number 5?
Simply because it's a rigid slipcase. Not flaky.
Is it just the package itself? Is it the movie? Is it the transfer? What did you think?
Honestly, I've never seen it.
Maybe I don't remember the last time I blew my nose either.
Another reason why this is my number 5 release of the year, actually this one makes it number 1, simply due to this lobby card right here. That's nice.
That's real nice.
That's nice. But in all seriousness, lobby cards, booklets, steel books, Zavi really did a number on this release. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them.
What the fuck is happening to you?
What do you have for number 4, Matt?
For my number 4, I'm bringing to the table Irreversible. This movie is the only non-4K release in my top 5 this year. All the other movies in my top 5 are 4K releases. This is just a Blu-ray. The reason why it got into my top 5, and I actually haven't watched this since I picked this up. I'm kind of like biding my time, I guess, for the right reason. But this release didn't come out in the US. This was released in the UK through Powerhouse, and that's how I, ended up purchasing it. And it was very limited. I'm not sure that you can still get this or not, but I was just so blown away by the care that they put into this movie, that someone was finally releasing this in such a way that we know from like an Arrow or somebody. It's got the booklet, it's got the cards and the memorabilia and different things that are in here. It's got this indicator limited edition card. I got 1,028 of 10,000. So it's probably still out there. I can't imagine 10,000 of these bad boys are gone.
You'd be surprised.
It could be, but it's just an incredible release beyond the movie itself, which again, I haven't even rewatched yet. This is super solid. Awesome slipcase. The production value on all the materials inside is really solid. Great release in general. So if you haven't checked this movie out, be ready.
The film is very violent. The first 20 minutes are really violent. And then the film becomes very poetic, very beautiful. And today is Irreversible is a reference.
What about you, Russ?
Pick, man. Well, my 4th selection does not include any 8-minute rape scenes in a hallway.
Hey, now we're not gonna have any more of that crap!
Switchblade Sisters.
I remember when we talked about that movie. I still haven't seen it, but I was really intrigued by your review and how you explained it.
And it's a controversial pick, I'd say, for me, because there already was a decent edition that has a lot of cool features on and it's not worth getting rid of, because some of the awesome features on this, namely the Quentin Tarantino commentary, does not appear on the Arrow release.
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you that film was great?
For me, I chose this one more to showcase the film itself. Arrow does a bang-up job, we all know that, but this film, I would give a 5 out of 5 and recommend to anyone watching, and I'm happy to see it get a release because this one that I owned is incredibly hard to come by. What is your Number 3, Matt. Number 3.
So my number 3 is Basic Instinct.
What do you want, flowers? I'll send you an autographed copy.
One, it was a movie that I had never seen and covered on the channel prior to seeing it. Russ, you recommended it highly. After a little while it had passed, I decided to check it out and was completely enthralled by it. I loved every second of it. I think I texted you like right after, like how much I enjoyed it.
Did you like it too much?
I'd already missed this. This was already, this was already gone. Like by the time I watched it and discovered that I loved it. So I ended up having to get this on this aftermarket, and I didn't pay too much more, but I did end up getting it.
I wouldn't know about that. I don't have any money.
Aside from the movie being awesome, this presentation, this box set here is just super, super nice. Like the slipcase itself usually is rigid as always, as a lot of these are, but the back of it's matte and the front of it's like glossy. Even the spine, Basic Instinct is glossy, but everything else is matte. It just looks really, really nice.
It does.
Just the quality of the materials that are inside of here. We already did an unboxing. I don't need to open the whole thing, but just in general, I thought the quality of this release was awesome, and I was not sad that I paid a couple extra bucks to pick this up because I'm glad I got it. So yeah, so number 3, it's a part of 4K Kings history.
Let's get it out of the way. My number 3 will be Basic Instinct as well.
There it is.
Cheers.
Same as you said, and honestly, I didn't grow up on it. Certain scenes I may have watched a few times as an adolescent, but the movie as a whole, similar experience. I fell in love with it immediately. I kind of kicked myself for not watching this earlier.
Yeah, super fun.
It's definitely, it just takes you back to a time where a storyline like this you could have fun with it. You don't see that in movies anymore.
No.
I love the fact that this whole plot falls apart if you just introduce DNA testing into it.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Which was available when the time this movie was released. But I love how it's just like, nah, enjoy the ride. And it's a beautiful, it's just fun, man. It's just a fun movie.
How much coke did you do?
Number 2.
Number 2, man. What do you have for number 2?
Number 2 here for me is one, again, I slept on, but not for too long. You got this before I did, but it was one that we had covered, and that was American Psycho from Koch Media.
Don't just stare at it, eat it.
Another company that we sort of fell in love with this year. And again, just a crazy, outstanding care and love put into this movie. Not to mention that the 4K transfer that they have is impeccable. Not only is the outer shell this sort of clamshell style box, which again is really well done. It's a little bit of a combo, matte and glossy.
That's bone.
Yeah, I would say that is the most rigid box I think I own of any release.
Yeah, and it's big. We did an unboxing of this also. Inside is a similar like digibook sort of house for all the movies themselves, but then there's like silly stuff like the business card and layout of his apartment. But this is what kind of makes it, gets it on the top 5.
You like Huey Lewis in the News?
Is that it comes with your very own Huey Lewis in the News 4 CD, compact disc, which again looks like it's just been sitting on the shelf at where Sam Goody for the last like 40 years, and they plucked it off the shelf and included it in this set. I mean, it's just like wild box set combined with the fact that it's so well done. The movie's great. It's number 2 for me.
I picked it up solely on that cover art, which
I
know you weren't sold on it at first.
It's
and to
still
be honest,
silly.
Well, that's why I love it. It's silly. Like I said, I immediately compared it to Soul Man, which just makes me
laugh.
Yes, dude. I mean, American Psycho takes place in the 80s. It's, I don't know.
It's a guy pretending to be somebody that he's not.
Yeah, I think it's basically a Soul Man remake.
I've got to return some videotapes.
What do you got for number 2?
For my number 2, I'm going to go with...
Did you?
The Paramount Presents line release of Mommy Dearest. One of the reasons why I chose this is because I wasn't really familiar with the Paramount Presents line before doing this channel. I like the way how the slipcase kind of opens up and you get an original poster of the film you're buying.
It's cool.
I like that too because that's something practical. I can look at the poster while I'm pulling it out to watch it. It's not something I have to unfold and put back in the case.
Yep.
The slipcase itself, they're always pretty rigid. They're nice. The gloss finish, as you mentioned, with...
Yeah.
I mean, for something where you're getting titles like 48 Hours and Mommy Dearest, what more can you ask for? We're not going to get those released from an Arrow or something like that. A great cult movie. Even if you've never seen it, you don't know anything about it, this comes with a feature-length commentary from John Waters. So that is a joy in itself. And I know Mommy Dearest is seen as like a so good, or so bad it's good cult-type film. I don't know. I thought this was great. I like this line. I want to see more from it. I wish it caught on more. So what is your number one release of the year, Matt?
Number one release. For the most part, anyone could probably guess if you're watching this channel at all, if you've seen anything we've covered. I pretty much gave this the most glowing review of anything of all time.
Cool as ice. I knew it.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
My number one this year goes to Second Sight for their release of The Guest.
Good.
Pretty much hands down, no brainer. This is probably one of the best releases I think I've owned, period. I'd have to go through my entire collection to see what release of its, at least of its kind, is out there that is any better as far as the quality of the materials, the quality of the art, the box itself, the transfer of the film, how much supplemental materials they gave it. I mean, this again is incredible. This is like the thickness too of the American Psycho release that I just talked about. So it's like 2 times the size almost of a standard, say, Arrow, True Romance, or you know, Zavi, Carlito's Way, or whatever.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Well, I mean, when you take into account the money you spent on it, I know you've spoken on this release extensively.
Countless times.
Countless times. I am definitely haunted by your love of this release.
Haunted by yourself.
As you should be. I mean, just look at this booklet. I mean, this is like, again, it's like 2 or 3 times the size of what...
It would take me longer to read that book than watch the movie.
Who would have thought that there was even that much care to put into The Guest, I think is the other thing that just blows my mind. That this one-off movie that I picked up, saw, enjoyed, never really thought too much about as far as another release is concerned. Then to see something like this come out, it's like right up my alley. So
that is really cool.
My number one of the year, The Guest.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
My number one release of the year is the one that almost got away.
Almost got away.
And that is, I won't go too deep into it because it showed up on Matt's list, but the Arrow release of True Romance.
It showed up twice for a reason, folks. I mean, well, maybe this is the release of the year.
I'll tell you.
This is the most poignant moment for us, I think.
It is. First off, I slept on it. I knew this was going to sell out fast, but I didn't expect it to sell out as fast as it did. And I missed my opportunity to pick it up. A near and dear fan to our hearts, Mark, actually sent this in.
You want me to suck his dick?
And what broke my heart when I initially missed it, it's one of those releases I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
I'm with you.
I don't know if I've been conditioned over the years to kind of feel like every Tarantino film just gets bare bones releases. And while I'm aware True Romance, different studio, Tony Scott, when I hear True Romance, I think Tarantino first, Tony Scott second.
You condescend me, man. I'll fucking kill you, man.
You know, I wasn't expecting Arrow to put this out, and it's beautiful. The features are incredible. It was a white boy day for sure when Mark sent me that in the mail.
Thank you, Mark. But before we completely close out our top 5, I don't know, share your top 5 below, what maybe you guys thought, if you agreed with us, what did you buy this year? Again, this isn't a definitive of what was the best of the year, just what we got, what we talked about. This is definitely my 5.
Let us know. I mean, we're looking for recommendations ourselves.
Absolutely. But I did want to just take 2 seconds, since we're talking about top 5s, to talk about maybe movies that should have been in the top 5. And maybe
I'm with you.
This was a set that was highly anticipated. People were extremely excited that these were coming out in 4K. I was excited. I had never seen Raiders of the Lost Ark. We had talked about that extensively as well. I finally got a chance to see Raiders of the Lost Ark after purchasing this. But the one thing that I was immediately just disappointed by, just the quality of not only the outer slip box, but the quality of the packaging in general, the art choice, just a huge misfire as far as I'm concerned when it comes to physical media. They're trying to make $1 on this thing by putting the bare minimum effort into it. Now, it's bittersweet to say that because the transfers themselves are incredible, and I've watched the first 2 already since picking this up, and they look outstanding. This is a movie that deserves the love that someone like The Guest, like a film like The Guest gets like the best, you know, utmost care from, you know, a little niche studio, but why can't we get that for this 4-movie Indiana Jones, first time ever in 4K? Again, if you look back to what came out right before that, this is the release that came out for Blu-ray, again, which what we talked about, in this nice hard, at least, box, and at least this nice, again, hardback book with some pages and Again, just like we couldn't get this.
That looks so much better.
We couldn't get this again. Why not? I mean, all my 4Ks are in here. I already put my 4Ks in here. My Blu-rays are now in this shit box right here. This is what we should have got, and this is what we got instead. I think this is a disgrace. This could have easily been in my top 5 for best packaging, best release of the year, whatever, but instead it's not. It's a shame. And the same thing goes for The Lord of the Rings.
Most disappointing release of the year for myself is one that we've covered recently, and that is this Titans of Clockwork Orange. Now, I can't complain too much because a superior edition exists that I missed out on. So I settled for Titans of Cult. This is my first Titans of Cult purchase, and I'm sorry to those out there who are fans. I am not a fan of this packaging whatsoever. It's as sharp. This plastic is as sharp as it looks. I've damn near slit my wrist 3 times trying to watch this movie. Look at this shit. Here to watch a movie, folks. Finally got it out. Look, and then the bottom came out for me trying to get the steelbook out. So as you can see from my fumbling around here, I'm looking to get rid of this piece of shit. I am keeping the steelbook, which honestly, the art, look, I'm holding it backwards. It doesn't matter. It's unimaginative and uninspired on both sides, but it's a hell of a lot better than this fucking packaging. Anyone out there who wants this Titans of Cult packaging, I will ship it to you for free.
Roast Russ below if you disagree with his take.
Roast me below. No, give me a hand putting this back together. Dude, look at that. Look, watch. I'm closing it.
The best roast will get this sent to them.
Matter of fact, whoever leaves the best comment doesn't get to own this. That's a blessing in itself. You'll thank me for, look at this shit. Look, dude, look. All of my beloved pins are gonna fall out.